Considering the estimated annual loss of 30 to 35% of tomatoes every year in India on account of wastage at various stages in tomato value chain and associated price spikes, it is imperative that technology is channeled to alleviate the associated risks and problems. As a part of this endeavor, Vertical 3 of the Tomato Grand Challenge for the development of technologies for primary processing, post harvest storage, and valorization of tomato relates to innovative post harvest treatments, packaging technologies for long term storage to minimize post harvest losses during transportation and storage in order to avoid panic selling due to perishability of tomatoes. In this Tomato Grand Challenge, the various challenges and scope of improvement for the participants under Vertical 3 would be: the first challenge is related to shelf life of tomatoes. In this, the scope of improvement would be solutions to improve the shelf life while preserving the quality of tomatoes, such as appearance, color, and firmness of tomato, so that the consumer gets the best quality of products. The second part of the challenge would be for ensuring safe and economic packaging solutions. In this regard, the scope would be utilizing sustainable packaging material so that the current environmental awareness is also addressed. The third limb of the challenge would be long term storage solutions. This would involve developing low cost, low energy requiring, and environmentally sustainable storage solutions. And the last leg of the challenge would be to minimize the losses during the transportation of tomatoes. For this, special material for containers would need to be developed and for packaging as well in order to reduce the losses during transportation, loading, and unloading of tomatoes. We at the Indian Institute of Packaging are glad to be associated with the Tomato Grand Challenge and related to Vertical 3 thereof. The institute is an autonomous body under Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, undertaking major activities of training, education, testing, quality evaluation, consultancy, and research and development. Having said this, now I request my colleague, Dr. Badal Devangan, Joint Director and Head of Research and Development in IIP Mumbai, to elaborate on the various aspects of Vertical 3 for dealing with details of the various components of the vertical, and with the sincere hope that this Tomato Grand Challenge would lead to the major gains for the farmers and consumers of our country. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. The Indian Institute of Packaging relates with the Vertical 3 of the Tomato Grand Challenge, that is nothing but innovative post-harvest treatments, packaging and technologies for the long-term storage to minimize the post-harvest losses during the transportation and storage to avoid the panic selling due to the perishability of the tomato. So let me take you in this Vertical 3 in details, starting with the packaging. So if you see the functions of the packaging, it protects from the transport hazards and adverse effect of the oxygen, moisture, UV and microbes, etc. With the proper pictorial marks of the goods, product can be easily identified. Even specified and certified information of the goods conveys the quality of the product. It involves the attractive marketing tools that lead to the branding, improve the sale and enhance the profits. If you see the purpose of the good packaging, it may be considered under the two categories like the functional purpose or aesthetic aspects. Within this functional purpose, it aims at extending the shelf life of the product by protecting the produce from the transportation hazards, microbial, insect damage and physiological or the biochemical changes by reducing the respiration rate. In case of the aesthetic aspects, it attracts the consumer in terms of the shape, size, color and convenience, etc. of the packaging and identifies the product in the market, which enhances the brand loyalty and overall sales. If we see the category of the packaging, it may be considered either of the consumer, retail or the unit packaging, or else transport, wholesale or the bulk packagings. In that, consumer packaging nothing but packaging which remains directly in contact with the goods. It is convenient to carry, designed to protect and present the product in the most appealing way. to catch the customer's eye and ultimately to encourage the sale. Wherever transport packaging is responsible for the safe transport of the product from the point of the productions to wholesale dealer and from there to the retailer. If you see, the major aspects of the packaging is nothing but a transport packaging, which remains responsible for the transport of the tomato at a domestic level as well as export. So there are the certain factors that need to be considered for the transport packaging of the tomato, such as transport packagings are subjected to damage resulting from the poor environment control during the handling in transit, and it is one of the leading causes of rejected tomato produce and low buyer and the consumer satisfactions. Tomato has its own requirement for the temperature, humidity and environment gas compositions. Hence, the transport container should be product friendly, helping to maintain an optimum environment for the longest shelf life. Transport package may include even the special material to reduce the loss of the water from the tomato, insulation material to keep out the heats, or engineering plastic liners that maintain a favorable mixture of the oxygen or carbon dioxide in case of the modified atmosphere packagings. Even the corrugated boxes for transport packs require to have the high stacking strength as well as the compression strength to avoid the damages. The dimension of the packaging need to be designed in such a way that it should occupy maximum area during the palletizations along with the maximum volume inside the transport container. Loading and unloading is also one of the very important steps in a packaging. Post-harvest losses can be considerably reduced by using the pallets. Pallet is nothing but a base on which the tomato is delivered through the transport pack. There is a need to standard the size of the pallets, which make efficient use of the cargo space and can accommodate the heavier loads and better base area utilizations. Additionally, even the adoption of the pallet standard throughout the tomato produce industries would also aid the efforts towards the standardization of the container. Even there is a possibility of the alternate options of the pallets is nothing but slip seats. They are even less expensive than the pallets, may be used many times if it is made up of the plastics. They reduce the tear weight of the load and accommodate the more packaging than the pallets. However, it requires the use of the special forklift attachment at each handling point. And even while selecting this transport pack, we should look for the designing. Within the designing, particularly the ventilations. Ventilation of the packages is required because the air flow through the ventilation holes allow the tomato to slowly cool and avoid the buildup of the heat produced by the respirations. Even the ventilation holes also improve the dispersal of the ethylene produced by the tomatoes. Apart from that, we should also look for the consider these ancillary materials, particularly angle boards in case of the CFB, to prevent the crushing of the corners of the package caused by the plastic strips utilized at present, which can be even replaced by the paper-based strips. Cushioning material inside the packagings, which may also prevent the bruising of the tomato skins and then hence improve the shelf life, because the bruising may take place during the transit due to the vibration or impact. Now, apart from that, even while going for the packaging, we should also select the packaging material. So there are the certain factors under the material that also need to be considered. Packaging material must withstand the harsh environment conditions like high humidities and low temperature atmosphere for the cold supply chains. The selected material even would offer the desired oxygen and the water vapor barrier property in case of the modified atmosphere packaging. Even all the selected materials have the tolerance to withstand all the transport worthiness test, which would protect the product against any damage during the transit. Even the suggested material must be a food grade or non-toxic in case of the consumer pack, where we particularly use for the processed tomato products. Now, another thing is that now we should look for the novel approach in the development of the packaging solutions for the tomato. And for that, we should go for the maximum utilization of the sustainable packaging. Like we may take the example in case of the consumer packs, we may have the paper pallets or a paper tray, etc. Wherever for the transport or the bulk pack, we may utilize the CFB boxes, craft paper as well as the paper strips. We should look for the minimum use of the overall packaging material by choosing the advanced materials and optimum packaging dimension to reduce the overall weight, cost and storage space required without compromising the strength properties. Even the shipping cost optimization need to be done by maximizing the area utilization of the pallets and the containers. Prior to the packaging, even also we need to look for the characterizations of the tomatoes, and characterization of the tomatoes requires or it goes under the program changes impacting their appearance, flavor, texture and the nutrition values and leading to the aging. Harvest tomatoes lose the water through the transpirations, impacting their marketability, weight and causing the shriveling. High temperature, low humidity and sun exposure did accelerate the water losses. Another thing is that the respiration rate, which is responsible for the ripening of the tomato, it exhibits significant rise, or one can say even with a higher respiration rate, the ripening rate becomes very high and it affected by the temperature and the atmosphere. And if we see it, even at ambient temperature and the pressure, the respiration rate ranges from 35 to 51 milligram CO2 per kg per hour. And if we see the temperature effect, even at 10 degree, the ripening rate or the respiration, mainly the respiration rate, it decreases to 13 to 15 milligram CO2 per kg per hour at 10 degrees. So another important thing is that there is a ethylene which comes out during the respirations from the fruits. So tomato fruits, even in presence of the little bit of the ethylene in the level of the exposure of 0.5 microliters per liter, can induce the ripening and related metabolic process. So this ideal ripening conditions for tomatoes are 19 to 21 degrees centigrade with 90 to 95 RH. However, the recommended storage condition is around 12.8 to 15.6 degree. If you go lower than that, it leads to the chilling injury, especially in case of the matured green stage tomatoes. So now finally we should look for the packaging aspects of the tomatoes. That includes the temperature, which we are already aware of, 12.8 to 15 degrees centigrade. Humidity, that is also one of the major aspects. Higher humidity can promote the mold and the bacterial growth, leading to a short shelf life. It is recommended to store the tomato in a moderately dry environment with the humidity level around 85 to 90%. So to control the humidity inside the packaging materials, some packaging options may be utilized, nothing but perforated packaging options or anti-fogging films. In case of the anti-fogging films, it prevents the condensation from the inner surface of the packaging and maintain the product's visibility, reducing the spoilage caused by the excess moisture. Wherever in case of the perforated packagings, with micro perforation, it allows the controlled airflow and the moisture exchange. Perforated packaging helps to regulate the humidity levels, prevent the condensations and maintain a balanced environment inside the package. So this techniques aids in reducing the moisture buildup and growth of the mold or the bacteria, thus extend the shelf life of the tomatoes. Handling and storage is also another major concern. Rough handling and improper storage can accelerate the deterioration of the tomato. Bruising or crushing of the tomato can lead to the growth of the mold or the bacteria, causing the spoilage. So it is essential to handle the tomato with a care and avoid the staking or compressing them during the storage. So packaging techniques that provide the cushioning and the protection against the physical damage can also help to prevent the bruising or punctures that can accelerate the spoilage. Another important aspects of packaging is nothing but a modified atmosphere packaging. In case of the modified atmosphere packaging, we replace the air composition, true air composition inside the packaging by introducing the less amount of the oxygens and a little bit amount of the carbon dioxide and more of the inert atmosphere. This presence of the carbon dioxide, it retards the microbial growth, and an inert atmosphere, it is again retard the spoilage also. So the packaging is here. The packaging is filled by the specific gas mixture. The modified atmosphere helps to control the respiration rate, inhibit the microbial growth, and reduce the rate of the ripening, thereby extending the shelf life of the tomatoes. Another important aspect, nothing but material modification would be the edible coatings considered under the packagings. So edible coating is nothing but a thin layer of the material on a produce. It actually prolongs the shelf life by providing the barrier properties which retard the or which actually reduce the respiration rate, thus reduce the overall biochemical reaction, enzymatic reactions, and helps the improvement in the shelf life. The another observation, it is observed with the chitosan is a chitosan or the blend of the chitosan or the even the what we say the rice bran wax as a edible coating material with a here it is observed that there is an improvement in the shelf life for of the tomato up to 24 days. Then another advancement in the packaging is nothing but a smart packaging. Smart packaging, it is the combination of the active and the intelligent packagings. In case of the active packaging, it involves the use of the specialized materials or additives that actively interact with the tomatoes to extend the shelf life. Active packaging helps to lower the oxidation, control the rate of respiration, arrest the microbial growth, and eliminate the moisture migrations. Active packaging technology basically includes the carbon dioxide emitters or odor absorber or ethylene scavengers or removers, aroma emitters, etc. Even one of the observations in case of the active packaging related to tomato is that in case of the triticale films containing the potassium permanganate exhibit the ethylene oxidation activities and eventually delays the ripening process of the cherry tomato over the 20 days of the storage. In case of the intelligent packaging, it is designed to monitor and communicate the information about the food quality. It includes the temperature time indicators, biosensors, ripening indicators, and also the RFIDs. RFIDs, however, we may consider under the data carriers as well. So data carriers, it is also important to support for the automated traceabilities, theft preventions, or protection against the counterfeitings. So now, if we see the current problem or the challenges of tomatoes, it includes the normally we are aware of the bulk transportation of the tomato domestically, either it is done directly through the vehicles or without the transport packaging, or sometimes through the plastic crates in an exposed or atmospheric or the environment conditions. There is a lack of the awareness regarding the proper and the suitable packaging materials. There are no variety specific packaging, no variety specific like specification for the consumer, transport, and the bulk packs for the export market. As well as there is a contaminated and unorganized packaging and storage warehouses. There is a insufficient knowledge about the storage procedures, post-packaging storage condition, and the product shelf life awareness about the tomatoes. So very less amount of the sustainable materials are now presently utilized, and there is a lack of the packaging and the storage SOPs as per the cropping seasons and the timelines. So there is an expectation from the participants through this tomato grant challenge. Mainly they have to enhance the shelf life of the tomato while preserving their original properties, and for that they should develop the novel natural edible coating that may minimize the respiration rate and improve the shelf life. They may work to develop the innovative sustainable packaging material for consumer, transport, or bulk packs for the tomato as well as the tomato based products. Even they may develop the innovative packaging design to maximize the space utilization throughout the entire process of the transport to storage and reaching the end consumers. by maximizing the area utilization of the pellets and containers for the exports. Even there is a need of the innovations for the sustainable active packaging for enhancing the shelf life of the tomato. And finally, they should address the challenges of the price hike for the tomatoes during the non-cropping seasons and the significant losses during the cropping seasons in India. A set of standard operating procedures need to be developed specifically for the storage and packaging, considering the combination of the innovative packaging aspects of the tomato, which is already discussed. So, challenges and scope of the improvement for the participants may be summarized under these 4 points: shelf life of the tomatoes, safe and economic packaging solutions, includes the sustainable packaging materials, long-term storage solutions that may have the low cost, low energy requiring and environmentally sustainable storage solutions, and losses during the transportations, especially considering the material for the packagings to reduce the loss during the transportation, loading and unloading. So with this, we wish more and more people should participate in this tomato grant challenge and should come up with an innovative solution to make or to solve the purpose of the tomato grant challenge. So I wish all the best to all of you, all the participants, and I also would like to thank Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distributions for providing the opportunity to IRP. Thank you.